Morning, everybody. Apple in talks to buy high-end headphone maker Beats for $3.2 billion. Will it help Apple get its music mojo back? We'll have that and more right here, right now on the News Hub. I'm Simon Constable, and we're very lucky. We got Strategy Analytics Executive Director Neil Mawston joining us from London. And Neil, $3.2 billion for some fancy headphones. That's a lot of money. I guess you get more than one pair for that, though.
Yeah, good morning, Simon. Indeed, for £3.2 billion, you'd expect a lot of headsets, I think. This is an important strategic deal for Apple, one of the biggest in its history, and it's important they get it right, I think.
Now, one of the things we know about Apple is that Apple introduced the iTunes service with the iPods quite a while ago. It did very well, but they're losing business on that. They're not doing so well. The downloads aren't really doing that well. This company, Beats, if the deal goes through, would actually be very good for them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we think there's essentially two main areas as to why Apple is thinking about buying Beats. The first one is that the whole wearable side of things is growing quite quickly, as is the mobile headphone space. So there's a big mobile accessories hardware play here. And on the services side, as you rightly say, Simon, as well, you know, we're seeing peak downloads in the music industry, particularly in the US and in other parts of the world. So Apple and others are looking at streaming music as the next big growth phase, and Beats can help them with that because they have a good streaming music service.
And streaming music, a subscription service, is kind of an interesting thing for them to go with, because the other products they've had, like the iPhone and the iPads, you get the service from somebody else, right? You get AT&T or Verizon, whoever it is, where you are locally. This, they would own the service, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. So Apple always likes to control a lot of the ecosystem. They believe they can maximize the user experience and naturally maximize profits out of doing that. So by owning as much of the streaming music subscription services as they can, then that gives them more control over the overall ecosystem.
Tell us where you would, if you were in Tim Cook's seat and you had all that cash that he has, and he has a lot of cash, where would you suggest they spend that externally? And also, would you also recommend that they actually try and develop products internally, which possibly could be a good idea? Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Apple obviously is a hugely successful company. They make massive profits, more than most anybody other company on the planet. So they're already very successful, I think. In terms of add-on additions that they want to enhance the company, we think they should be looking in places like wearables, because that's quite a high growth segment that's emerging. Google is looking at its smart glasses, for example. Those kind of areas would be worth looking at. Obviously, the music side is important. Also, the mapping side is one area where Apple is still a little bit behind the curve, I think it's fair to say. So those kind of areas would be useful for Apple, I think.
Okay, thank you very much, Strategy Analytics Executive Director Neil Mawston.